Hey, what's up, guys? Spencer Rhodes here. So, Alpha and the Whisperers have just been introduced in The Walking Dead Season 9. We're just starting to learn about them. We pretty much just met Alpha in last week's episode. You can argue that she is the third big villain in the series. The first big villain was the governor, the second big villain was Negan, and now we have Alpha. Now, that's debatable. That's really up to interpretation. And what I mean by big villain is like really big hardcore villain that's tyranny lasts more than a season and they kill multiple main characters, or at least cause the deaths of multiple main characters. Like they cause a really serious problem. Like not one of those mini villains that last a few episodes and then they get killed and they get taken care of. I'm talking about like a big bad type of villain. Because there's the little villains like Gareth and when he became a hunter, you know, his little group, the Hunters, and when he was at Terminus and all the Terminus people, you know, those were villains, but they're only in a few episodes and they all got killed. There was Joe and the Claimers, and they were in a few episodes, but they got killed. You know, there was Dawn and her little hospital group of assholes, but you know, Dawn got killed and the rest of them, they just kind of surrendered and stuff. But, you know, the governor was really the first big villain. I mean, you could argue that Shane was the first big villain, but Shane didn't really become a villain until his second season. And he was just he just wanted to kill Rick sometimes. He kind of wanted to not kill other people. He was trying to protect Lori and Carl. He was just kind of like this good person that made this slow descent towards villainy. So you could argue Shane was the first big villain, but I think a lot of people consider the governor to be the first big villain. I think a lot of people consider Season 3 of The Walking Dead to be the first season where there's a human villain. In the first two seasons, it was all about fighting the walkers and occasionally fighting people. But in the third season, they were so used to the walkers were barely a problem. It was all about the governor. And the governor, he did a lot of damage. I mean, he pretty much caused the deaths of Merle, Andrea, and Herschel. You know, a lot of people, you know, they think that, you know, Negan was like the governor, but worse. You know, Negan got more people killed. But when you think about it, I mean, the governor did damage. I mean, the governor and his armies, they did some damage. The governor killed Merle. He pretty much killed Dr. Milton and let Milton turn and bite Andrea. So he caused the deaths of both Milton and Andrea. He decapitated Herschel. And his attack on the prison killed a lot of the background characters that were at the prison. They were on Rick's side. When you think about it, there was like 100 characters at the prison at the start of Season 4. And yes, the flu killed some of them. But once the governor attacked, everyone at the prison, there was like hundreds of people, and everyone at the prison died except for like the 12 or 13 characters that were scattered around everywhere. Now, they all happened to be main cast members that were important, but when you think about it, like a shitload of background characters that were at the prison got killed because of the governor's attack at the prison. So the governor definitely did some damage, you know. You could argue about whether or not, you know, Negan's a worse villain than the governor. I personally preferred the governor as a villain. I like the dialogue and I like the character better. Negan he had some moments where he just didn't quite do it for me. And it wasn't necessarily Jeffrey Dean Morgan's fault. I think it was just some flaws in the writing. But with Negan, I mean, yeah, Negan was definitely the spiritual successor to the governor, per se. You know, he starts off literally in his first episode, in his first appearance. He pretty much kills, I mean, second appearance, first appearance, whatever. A one-part episode that should have been one part, but was actually two parts. But he kills Glenn and Abraham. You know, he kills Glenn and Abraham. It's confirmed in the Season 7 premiere that Negan had killed Glenn and Abraham. And, you know, for that first half of Season 7, Negan is terrorizing Rick's group and forcing them to give him half their stuff. And later on in Season 7, he pretty much causes the deaths of other characters like Spencer and Olivia and Sasha. Even if it's not Negan, it's just like the things that Negan does, it causes these deaths because characters are fighting against Negan and some of them die fighting against Negan. And in Season 8, you know, all those deaths, it's because they're fighting against the Saviors. You know, Carl, Shiva, Tobin, Eric, Francine, all these characters are dying fighting against fighting during all out war, fighting against the Saviors. So you could argue that since Negan was the leader of the Saviors, he has all that blood on his hands. So yeah, Negan definitely he's done some shit also. But there is a possibility that Alpha, she's basically the third big villain. There's a possibility that she could be the worst villain yet. She doesn't have, I don't think she's a little bit more like the Governor than she is like Negan, because the Governor was basically the sociopath. He was a manipulator. Alpha's not really a manipulator. She is what she is. She's a savage. She's the leader of the Whisperers, which are basically a big group of savages, like an army of savages. They're like a pack of wolves. And Negan had a lot of rules. Negan did some pretty bad shit, but he had his own code. He had his own rules, and he had rules that the Saviors had to follow. And yeah, sure, the Whisperers have rules, but I don't think it's anywhere near as strict. I think that the Whisperers, they don't have as many rules as the Saviors would have had. I don't think that Alpha has as many rules as Negan had. Maybe she doesn't even have as many rules as the Governor had. I think that Alpha has the potential to be the biggest villain in The Walking Dead. She is literally just a savage. She will kill a baby. She will kill kids. She will kill innocent people without even blinking. She has that in her. And I think that once we get to that big moment in the comics, which is supposed to happen in episode 15 of this season, it's been confirmed. It's going to be episode 15. There's the moment in the comics where there's the 12 heads on spikes, where Alpha and the Whisperer, they lure 12 characters away and then kill them, decapitate them, and then they put 12 characters' heads on sticks, and they're walker heads, and it marks a border so that you don't cross their territory of land. But yeah, they kill 12 characters. We've never had an episode on The Walking Dead where we've lost 12 characters at once. 12 characters that we know, and they're not all going to be main characters, but they're going to be minor characters, some main, some minor. It's going to be a huge blow to the characters and a huge blow to the audience. That I'm sure most people are going to have a couple of characters that they love, that are among their favorites, that are going to be killed during the heads on spikes. There's so many characters that whose heads are on the spikes. If they follow the comics, it's going to be 12. That's a lot. The chances of none of them being characters you like are very low. So that's going to be a huge moment, and I think that's going to be what really distincts Alpha from other villains like Negan and the Governor. That's going to be one of the moments that makes it clear that Alpha is the worst villain yet. And it doesn't stop there. Keep in mind, there's the Whisperer War that's going to happen in Season 10. Even if a lot of characters die in this season, which they probably will, you still need deaths in Season 10. So characters could die in Season 10. There's going to be casualties in Season 10. And Season 10 is going to have this part of the comics called the Whisperer War. That's when all the good guys come together that survived the heads on spikes. They come together and they fight against the Whisperers. It's basically like the next all-out war. And like all-out war, there's going to be casualties. So even more characters are going to be killed because of the Whisperers and because of Alpha. It's not going to stop at the 12 heads on spikes. Plus, they've already killed Jesus. So, yeah, I think that Alpha has the potential to be the worst villain yet. She literally just doesn't have that many rules. I mean, she has a few rules. The Whisperers have a few rules. They have to do what she says, pretty much. But I think that she's just more batshit crazy than Negan and the Governor, and she's more dangerous, and she's really gonna just knock it out of the park when it comes to being the next big bad. Samantha Morton is a terrific actress. She's done a lot of other movies, and I like what she's doing with the character so far. Now, we haven't seen too much of her so far. We haven't seen too much of her dialogue as Alpha, but I really think she's going to do a good job. I really think she's going to do a good job, and the character of Alpha and Beta and the Whisperers and everyone, they're really going to unleash some devastation on our poor characters. I really do think that Alpha is going to be the worst villain yet, the biggest villain yet, and she's definitely going to be the successor to the Governor and Negan. Anyway, that's all I have for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't be shy. Hit that like and subscribe. I'm not going anywhere. I make 1 to 2 Walking Dead videos per day, so please hit that subscribe button. Right now we are at 368 subscribers. My goal is to try to get to 400 in the next few months. So just remember, every subscriber counts, every bit of support matters, and is very, very appreciated. Hopefully we will eventually get to that goal of 400. Anyway, with all that said, I am Spencer Rhodes, and I will see you guys later. Bye!